All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a piece of technology you've probably never even heard of. But believe me, it might just be the most important guardian on your entire train journey. So let's set the scene.
So picture this, you're on a train, just gliding along, super smooth, right? Well, that incredibly comfy ride is all thanks to its air suspension system. We're talking about giant pressurized airbags, they call them bellows, but what happens if one of those things just bursts? Like a catastrophic failure. How on earth do you stop a massive speeding train from flying off the rails?
Well, the elegant and surprisingly simple answer to that terrifying question comes down to just 4 letters, FIBA.
And the best part? Its name tells you literally everything you need to know. FIBA stands for Failure Indication and Brake Application. See? It has exactly 2 jobs, and it does them completely automatically. Number 1, tell the crew something's wrong. And number 2, slam on the brakes. That's it. Simple, effective, and absolutely life-saving.
Okay, so let's dive a little deeper into that dual-purpose mission. We're talking about providing critical info and taking decisive action, all in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, you can really think of it like a 1-2 punch for safety. The first punch, and this is the big one, is just stopping the train. End of story. The second it senses that pressure drop, bam, the brakes are on. The second punch is all about communication, making sure the driver and the crew know exactly what just went down and, crucially, where to look.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? How does a simple little drop in air pressure manage to trigger the entire braking system of a huge train? Well, the answer is kind of brilliant in its simplicity, and it all boils down to one single number.
This is it. This is the magic number, 1 kilogram per square centimeter. That is the critical pressure threshold. If the air pressure inside one of those suspension bellows dips even a little bit below this point, the whole safety system just explodes into action. And check out the chain reaction this thing unleashes. The instant that bellow pressure drops, the FIBA device just springs to life. It cracks open a valve and starts dumping air, and I mean rapidly venting air, directly from the train's main brake pipe. Now here's the key. On pretty much any modern train, a loss of pressure in that pipe is the universal signal for emergency stop. So the brakes engage immediately. Hard and fast. It's just a beautiful, elegant, fail-safe system.
All right, so the train is stopped, everyone's safe, fantastic. But the emergency isn't quite over yet. You see, stopping is only half the battle. Now you've got to communicate what just happened.
And believe me, FIBA makes it pretty much impossible to miss the memo. It gives out 2 totally unmissable signals. First, you get this loud, piercing whistle coming directly from the faulty unit. It's designed to cut through any other noise. And at the exact same time, a bright red indicator physically pops out on the side of that coach. It's like a big red flag that says, hey, the problem is right here. So, the train is stopped, the crew knows exactly what's wrong and where. What's next? Well, you've got to put a human back in the driver's seat, so to speak. You can't just leave a train stuck in the middle of nowhere with its brakes locked up. And this is where a really simple but totally critical component comes into play. It's called an isolating cock. Sounds kind of funny, but it's just a manual valve. Once the crew finds that whistling FIBA unit, they can physically turn this valve, and that cuts it off from the main brake line. This immediately stops that air from venting out, and this is the important part, it lets them build the pressure back up in the system so they can get control of the brakes again.
Now, to be clear, this doesn't fix the broken suspension. Not at all. The whole point here is to get the train out of what could be a really dangerous spot on the tracks. By isolating that one faulty part, the crew can get the train rolling again, very slowly and very carefully, mind you, and limp it to the next station or a repair yard to get everyone safely off. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, you can really see how all these pieces work together. You've got the air spring bellows, which give you that nice, smooth ride. You've got duplex check valves that help balance the air pressure between them. And then, kind of watching over the whole operation, you have the FIBA device. It's the silent guardian, just waiting, ready to spring into action the second that pressure vanishes.
You know, when it comes right down to it, FIBA really is one of the unsung heroes of railway safety. It's this completely automatic system, like a little guardian angel, that most passengers will never ever know is there. But it is there, silently watching over every single journey, making sure a catastrophic failure doesn't become a catastrophic accident.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? We've just uncovered one of these amazing hidden safety systems. It makes you wonder,
What other invisible pieces of engineering are out there, quietly working in the background to protect you every day? In your car, in an elevator, even on a plane. It's pretty fascinating to think about, right?